All right, welcome to today's episode. We have a really exciting guest joining us. For those of you who are just tuning in, we are Concord AI Solutions, and we specialize in helping small businesses scale their revenue through the power of AI agents. So if you want to learn more on how to automate your busy workflows, close more leads, and run a leaner operations, feel free to reach out to us. All right, today I'm sitting down with Mark here. Mark is the founder of SEO Game, a performance-based SEO company that's been delivering real results for 30 years. Mark, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Very excited to be with you today. Thank you.
So, you have been in this business for 29 years, right? It is kind of unheard of. What got you started, and what keeps it going today?
Right. This year is an anniversary decade, a 30 year since 1996. What got me started in SEO is my first company I had. Before that, earlier in the 90s, I had an internet service provider company. I joined some chambers of commerce, had some great connections and relationships, and then learned a little bit about what to do with those relationships. One of them happened to be a digital agency, and then I saw other travel bureaus and other marketing web designers. These were people that I wanted to just basically huddle around and be with all the time. And I created a whole business. In 1996, SEO Game was founded, and I started that white label SEO services, which just basically is how I started.
Yeah, no, that's great. And, for our audience, just to kind of put things in context of what 1996 or 30 years look like, this is before Google was born, right? So it's a pretty long time that you have been doing this. So you're definitely an expert in this field. Give our audience a 30-second pitch on SEO Game. What do you work with? What's the core promise that you make to your new clients?
Fast forward 30 years, and I think a lot has changed in 30 years. So I would say in the early stages of my company 30 years ago, I was a white label partner. It meant that I just did all the behind the scene work, and I worked behind in the shadows of a digital agency as a vendor or a partner. Today, nothing really has changed in the way that I service my clients. Digital agencies, SEO companies, web designers. Today in 2026, it's about more deliverables. And if my pitch or anything is SEO Game exists so that it could be a partner with digital agencies that they won't have to worry about. A reliable vendor that gets rankings number one in a performance model. And for 30 years, I've been offering that no rank, no pay, performance-based SEO pitch to help digital agencies just continue to grow and scale their business with the partner that doesn't give up on them.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. So when we were chatting earlier, Mark, you had mentioned that you had built out this 30-day onboarding process for new clients. Can you walk us through what happens? How is it built? What are you fixing? What does that foundation looks like?
Absolutely. SEO Game really does have a week one, week two kind of onboarding strategy that combs through a website's Google Search Console, gets it 100% error free, which is a unique SEO tech strategy to basically work on core vitals and going through those big long checklists of here's all the errors that this website needs to get fixed. Well, my front end development team goes through and fixes all those problems, and we do it with a simple, hey, let's get started mentality, which you could pay thousands of dollars for that type of setup and never get the second phase of that strategy. And that is actually in week three, we should be showing results, which is first page results in Google search, traditional search, and implementation on the silo architectural AI strategy, which is a very comprehensive reporting system in order to focus on recommendations and AI searches. And what we like to say is we need to still rank number one in a traditional search to even qualify for a candidate to get AI search recommendations. And then there's a third step that's involved with that first step, and that would be the grid map or the heat map strategy, which is to really geek out on. Google introduced a product 6 years ago called heat maps. And all it does is it focuses on more customers for the owners of businesses with websites. So we want to do that too, because I've never met a customer who owns a website that says, please, I don't want any more customers. I'm happy just showing up number one rankings. Well, that's not enough today. We need to show up number one rankings, not just in a zip code, but in multiple zip codes using heat maps.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So most business owners have probably never heard of how the heat map works. Can you explain what that actually shows a client and why it matters?
Yeah, well, if you had a satellite and you looked over your business, or you look over a plumber's business, a client like a med spa, a dentist, a lawyer, a chiropractor, one of those bricks and mortar companies, or a home service with a plumber, roofer, HVAC, if you looked over their zip code in their Google business profile, it's probably easy to say, hey, I got you a number one ranking in your zip code. Well, most reporting tools show that zip code number one ranking. But where are you in Austin, Texas? Where are you in that city for all those zip codes? You need a heat map strategy, which Google introduced 6 years ago, to show you the grid map, to show you the rankings around a 20-mile radius. And if you're a business owner with one of those websites, you're going to want to target a 20-mile radius so you get customers in the northwest corner or the southeast corner. You want those. You want those people to see your website, and the only way to actually break through those proximities and crack those proximity filters is through heat map strategy. So I call it a customer acquisition strategy, because really what it is getting the phone to ring, more phone calls, more web traffic to a website equal leads, which equal customers.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So it's I'm like trying to picture in my mind, what does that look like when you're talking about heat maps, right? So when you said even 20-mile radius, in my mind, I'm like, well, if you are not a brick and mortar company, right? If you're solely online, then you would want a broader audience, right? You would be like, well, maybe I'm focusing, in Salt Lake, but maybe I also want to know what's happening in the surrounding areas. So I think that's a pretty cool thing to do, that you are able to visualize what's happening and what are other businesses doing. So I think that's a really cool.
Think of the game like Battleship, where you don't know where your opponent's battleships are hiding, the little tugboat or the little big battleship. If you've played that game, you're playing the game with Google and you're trying to break into that, and it takes a while to fill up your board. And it's just like grid maps. It's a grid, the game Battleship, and that's a little bit, but it's a strategy for local maps, and it doesn't really target, like if you're in Austin, Texas, you're not going to get a heat map strategy that's going to target into Salt Lake City, where I'm at.
Correct.
You can focus on another type of strategy, but it's mainly for local home services and local bricks and mortar companies. But
particularly, okay, that makes
not
sense.
so much B2B technology or national companies now.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. So one other thing, a part of your program is that you offer your customer this report, right, after they have gone through this process. How did you land on that level of transparency, and what does that do for a client retention?
Well, it brings up a lot of questions when you send a weekly report to your clients. I send weekly reports to the digital agency, and they might have 5 clients, and each client gets 1 email per week from me with 10 deliverables in it. And the 10 deliverables are quick links into the reporting systems that I have. I have 3 basic ones and then some third-party ones too, that will report on the AI search recommendation strategy, and there's about 3 reports that go into that each week. And then there's the heat map strategy, which is just one, but there's 30 keywords in there. And then there's another one that goes to the organic blue links and a couple of strategies related to that with Google Business Insights and Google Analytics Insights. And so what we're trying to do with those reports, 10's a perfect number. So what we're trying to do with 10 deliverables per website is explain to the digital agency over and over and over that these are deliverables you would share with your client very carefully, because if you send them too many things, they're just like going to get overwhelmed. So it's about sending the 10 to the agency, help them understand the reporting system so that they can report on attributions. Attributions for their clients are what they would consider as a lifetime client, or an opportunity to have a lifetime relationship with a business owner with a website. And a lifetime relationship is usually under a retainer of an SEO campaign. I believe there's only one type of way to achieve lifetime clients if you're a digital agency. And so my reporting system is going to be very unique, evergreen for that individual website owner, and each link's going to be unique. But it could bring up a lot of questions to the digital agency as well. It's like, wow, maybe this report isn't doing as well as much as I should, be getting, because I'm paying you so much money, Mark. But really, they're just always trying to just get more transparency, like you mentioned.
Absolutely. And I think that naturally leads to customer trust, right? Which leads to customer retention, because you're being transparent. You're saying, hey, good, bad, or ugly, this is it, right? It's all in front of you. So I think that's a pretty cool thing that you're doing. Now, you talked a little bit about AI reporting. Now, when did you realize that you needed to make that shift? Of course, the entire space of artificial intelligence is blowing up. But what was the timing like? Did you have a particular client who was asking for this, or is this something that you decided to do on your own?
SEO Game's only had a new website for the last 2 weeks that has all this offering at SEOgame.com, which means that my offering has been solidified, kind of finalized just recently, because the delivery reports had to come with new reporting tools. When I say reporting tools, that means I had to create a platform to integrate all these new reporting tools, which isn't cheap if you're trying to duplicate a program like Agency Analytics, which is what we've been using for almost 15 years. We basically fired our past reporting system and upgraded a new one with brand new technology. And we call it the Organic Rank Tracker, and it's or the ORT, O-R-T. And what we do with the Organic Rank Tracker is we integrate all these other great tracking tools, which we couldn't with a third-party software. We built our own software, and that's a new thing that SEO Game's really excited about, in order to get transparency out and to help digital agencies story brand each week to their clients, or maybe each week is too much. But I hope that the agencies are doing the best with these reports, and they're really deliverables, and hopefully my deliverables are improving each month, and then we can, if they're not, then the agencies have questions like, well, this one keyword doesn't seem like it's budging anytime soon. When do you think it's going to start improving in #1 rankings in the map or in the blue links? How about that 20-mile radius? I'm only seeing 10 miles, right? So obviously there's always work to be done. The cool thing about having 10 deliverables and all these new reporting tools is that I didn't just sell myself out of a job by just getting #1 rankings over a zip code, which is what I did in 2025. People would say, oh, good, we're good, Mark. We're no longer going to be able to afford your $300 a month service, so we're going to stop right now, and we might come back to it. That was the story of then. Now it's like, oh my goodness, we got to keep paying you to get that 20-mile raise, because we're seeing small increments of improvements. We're seeing improvements in the AI strategies. We're only getting recommendations for 30 keywords. We're looking to get the 60 keywords that we really want to be recommended for. And do you understand what AI search recommendations are?
Yes, absolutely.
What is it to you? I'm just curious.
So AI search recommendation is obviously looking at, for example, a small business, right? And, You apparently, you're looking across all of the different businesses in that region, and then you're making recommendations. So you're using different tools. Like you said, you built your internal tool. So you're looking at, you're utilizing different tools to come up with strategies for that business to say, okay, based on what you're doing, based on what the industry is doing, here's the best recommended plan for you,
Yeah.
Um,
And if I could just summarize what you said it exactly right. I kind of have to use this lingo now with digital agencies to clarify. Search recommendations is a business owner like a med spa. Well, they're going to have multiple procedures possibly. Maybe varicose veins reduction, laser surgery, laser this, and so what they're going to have is these different types of procedures, whether they're surgical or non-surgical, and they want to be recommended as the best cosmetic doctor or a dentist who does dental implants going to want to be recommended for a procedure related to a dental implant procedure, which is a $20,000 customer. They want to be able to be found for a big ticket keyword like that, like dental implant is a $20,000 potential customer for a dentist. Now, if a dentist had $20,000 customers, or I call butts in the chair, calling them every week saying, hey, I need to get a procedure for a full mouth, all on four, dental implant procedure. Guess what? That dentist is going to probably just be super excited that the digital agency that represents them is going to continually have a retainer and a lifetime relationship with that dentist. And
Absolutely.
now AI search recommendations is just the other way to say, hey, let me check ChatGPT, or let me check AI mode or Gemini, or let me check Perplexity and see, because there's a lot of people searching differently, and see if my site gets, my dental clinic gets recommended for the best dental implant dentist in Austin, Texas. And if that happens, we have a very happy dentist.
Yeah. So you kind of actually already answered this question, but I just want to simplify it for any of the small businesses listening to our podcast today, right? What does it mean if you're not showing up in an AI search result? What's the real world impact for their leads and for their
You're
revenue?
not getting recommended. Your competitor is.
Yeah. Everybody else who's using those tools is going to be ahead of the game. So, yeah,
Exactly. And who
absolutely.
doesn't want a 30-day trial to get that opportunity to see if it works? And that's what SEO Game does. Strictly behind the scenes for a digital agency, but if that dentist wants to call me up and pay me $400 a month to work on his website, I probably would.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You're optimizing for both traditional Google and AI engines simultaneously. How do you explain that to a client who barely understands regular SEO? Just wondering.
Yeah, well, the best way to explain it is not twist anyone's arm. You can't force a horse. You can't push that neck down to drink. Even if you wanted to have that, even if you knew the horse was super thirsty, you talk to business owners that are super thirsty for results. They wanted that customer yesterday. So, but you can't force them. You can't arm twist them. Where I distinguish my services when I talk to, let's say, out of the blue, a dentist is going to call me, and that could happen, because I have a very good testimonial page about dental implants, and maybe their CMO calls me, or maybe the dentist's wife calls me and says, hey, do I have to be signed up with a digital agency to hire you for your white label SEO? I just want to work directly with you. So obviously there is a little bit of begging going on. Can I, get on my knees and can I please take advantage of your 30-day trial? Now, obviously, if they understand exactly what it entails, like it's a 30-day test drive, you could benefit from seeing the deliverables and take advantage of the 30-day trial to see if it gets your organic ranking in traditional search for Google, and then also we can get started on the AI search recommendation strategy and the heat map strategy. So,
So you kind of basically show them by doing it.
yeah,
Here's a
show
test
them.
drive. Yeah,
But I
sure.
would
Yeah,
never twist their arm. I would never
yeah.
go to my own dentist and say, you know what you really need, doctor. You need my
Yeah,
service.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And then they're like,
yeah.
who are you?
Who are you?
You're under the, you got the, you're getting your crown filled in. Why are you talking to me?
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's always very beneficial when you actually let somebody try it out, of course, see the outcomes, maybe positive or negative, who knows, right? But at least they know what does this mean for their specific business. So I think that's a pretty cool strategy that
Yeah.
you have
And they
adopted.
gotta have a hunger. They gotta have a like a the golden keyword, the golden word, the golden question to ask people who have a business with a website is what keeps you up at night? If you were to be found on a Google search, if you had a magic wand, maybe it's the SEO Game magic wand or something like that, and you could wave it and get any keyword number one ranking by just saying dental implant dentist near me or dental implant Austin, Texas, Austin. And if they are already say, I've tried everything, then you might need a performance SEO. And that's what I do. I am a performance-based SEO, no rank, no pay model for you. But I would never twist anyone's arms for it. Because then they don't take advantage. If you've ever been to a Costco and you take that free sample, you really like that cookie. Okay, great. Doesn't mean you have to buy the whole thing of cookies. I mean, that's like Costco bag. I don't want all those cookies. So, that's the kind of things you get with people who take advantage of you. It's like, oh, I'll try it out. But they never intended to pay for it. So I
Yeah,
have to
no,
be, a little bit concerned about that.
absolutely. You talked about magic wand. What is one thing that if you had a magic wand to fix your business, what would that one thing be?
Wow. How many emails do I have in my send folder that I could just create a little tool that just lays it up to me and puts it into CRM and tells me, today these are people you spoke to last year, or go back to Calendly, for instance, and go back to 2016 when I first started, and go through those guys, and just like nurture them, some little robot tool. Meeting you was a great thing to do a podcast interview. What if I had more opportunities to do podcasts,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely. Yeah, you never know. And this is, see, the whole point of these podcasts is to really learn about your space, showcasing your expertise, but also trying to get our audience to understand, where the world is actually going, right? Because everybody uses, for example, in SEO world, everybody's using Google. We all do it, right? I pick up my phone and I'm Googling everything. But it's very different when you are using it with AI search, right? Because people make this mistake because they're using ChatGPT like a Google search, which is not how it's supposed to be done. So it's a pretty cool thing, how you have integrated this into your business model and really providing that service to your clients. Well, this is great. Thank you. Do you have any parting thoughts for our listeners today?
well, I'd like to just say, comment on what you just said. I mean, people are using ChatGPT like a Google search. I hear that all the time. I heard that yesterday with an IT support company. If you're listening, you still need to be number one ranking for IT support company, even though you don't use Google anymore. You may not, but your customers, if you were in Austin, Texas, and you were an IT support company, think of all the phone calls you're missing for being number one ranking for IT support company Austin, right? And they would kill to get an IT support company would just do anything to get more phone calls and web traffic. So those are my parting words. Is that if you're a digital agency, you're looking for a partner to team up with. I'd love to do a one-to-one. Visit my website and book an appointment at SEOgame.com. I have my Calendly there. And you can learn all about my deliverables, and it's in a flowchart process and what white label SEO and a good partner can do to help you grow and scale your business in 2026.
Thank you so much, Mark. This was such an amazing conversation. I got to learn so much from you. So thank you for sharing your knowledge. And I wish you best of luck. And, looking forward to having you back on with, more great thoughts and experiences. So appreciate you.
Thank you. Where will we be in 2027?
Exactly.
We do need to talk again.
We absolutely do. We absolutely do. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day. We'll talk soon. All right. Logging off, listeners. Till next time. Have a great day.